Okay.
Don't worry, don't panic, but I believe the mic is hot, which can only mean one thing. This is another episode, that can only mean one thing. This is another episode of the Jeb and Dennis Talk Rubbish podcast series. I don't know if we've settled on a name. Assume we have, and it was in the title. Welcome, Jeb. How are you?
I'm good. I'm quite sure that we have settled on a name, but we don't know what it is yet because we recorded this in the past.
We did. This is like going back to the future. In fact, according to Jeb, I already am in the future. He is sitting in his evening attire, enjoying a glass of red.
The same glass as episode 1.
Yes, I have been forced into daytime drinking. Right? It's morning time in the future here in Adelaide. So let me just top up my arak.
Hey, while you're doing that, does the toilet really flush the opposite way?
I don't know. I've never flushed a toilet.
Oh, man.
We are going to continue talking about all things politics and natural health and
religion,
conspiracy theories, as we always do on this channel, or avgeekery, one of the two. Which way?
Yes. So if you want to hear about aviation, go ahead and click the thumbs up button. If you want to hear us talk about politics, religion, and other controversial topics, double click the thumbs down button and we'll do that the next episode.
Exactly. What I do, the only thing I will say about politics is at the moment, both Jeb and I are being paid by politicians. All of those political adverts you're seeing, right? Every time you don't skip, that means those politicians have to pay for those adverts. They don't pay if you skip, they don't pay. So if you see a politician that you don't like running an advert on a video by us or anybody else, don't skip it. Make them pay.
Watch it all.
Watch it all. Watch it all. Obviously don't listen to it, but just watch it all.
Hey, speaking of things that you can't skip, Dennis, I've got a question for you. You know, like, I would love to be a TV show, like a game show host maybe, or like a news anchor, because I just love the transitions. So you're talking about not skipping YouTube ads, and I'm going to say, speaking of things that you can't skip, hey, Dennis, tell me about your worst delay ever.
My worst delay ever? Was... There haven't been any really nasty delays, but I did have a flight go mechanical and we had to turn around. It was back in my pre-YouTube days. I was on a holiday with my wife, but we picked up a cold and coming back from Singapore to Adelaide in a full aircraft, economy class, overnight flight, left at midnight, and I just wanted to sit down and fall asleep. About an hour and a half into the flight went mechanical. We had to turn around and go back to Singapore, spent 3 hours on the ground there, then got onto another plane and fly back. And doing all of that with a cold, it's left a scar. It's, years later, I'm still doing therapy. What about yourself?
Understandable. Tell me about your feelings. I just want to give you a virtual COVID hug, Dennis.
I know. This was also back in the old days when they didn't have in-flight entertainment. And it's obviously no phones or iPads or, so you could, they would have the movie on the screen at the far end of the cabin. And I think potentially even they had those little the old style headphones. They weren't made by Bose, I can tell you. And there was the movie Jumanji, the original. I reckon I saw that 7 times on the one trip. I've ever seen the only video the only movie that Singapore Airlines had at that stage.
That was a very different Singapore Airlines.
It was.
I'm like you. Despite flying as much as both of us have, I really haven't had too many, delays. I guess I've had a cancellation or two, maybe, but that's just waiting for the next day. not really a delay. My worst delay was probably we had a United flight. Suzanne and I were going to Frankfurt to catch a flight to Hamburg, and this was last year, and we were delayed. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours, and it was really hit or miss about whether we were. It was just a weekend trip, and it was really eating into it. But we did make it. So really, you hear about these unbelievable delays that people have. I have a friend who had a delay in Africa. He was flying somewhere in Africa. His airline ended up going bankrupt, so he had to catch a bus, overnight bus, and then he got to the border and they held him up he had to pay a bribe. Anyway, it was a whole thing. That's the kind of delay that makes for a really epic road warrior. Your delay and mine, they don't count.
You're gonna make the most of it. We had a miss with my son. We were flying earlier this year to Tel Aviv via London. It was on a points trip, and the flight from Sydney to Singapore, London was delayed, and we missed the tight connection we had. As a result, we had 14 hours in London. So we went to the lounge, got rid of our hand luggage and stuff, and then went landside and spent the day in London. And my son had turned 18 a couple of months earlier, so introduced him to his first proper English pint in an English pub. And we also went to a gallery and shopping and bits and pieces. But it was nice.
That's it. You if you travel enough, you're going to run into a situation like this, right? It's inevitable, and it doesn't happen for the most part on one airline more than in another, for the most part. And it's all about the attitude you bring to it. And if you're going to be angry and ranting and raving, you're probably not going to get like a surprise upgrade or great treatment or something like that. Whereas if you just look for the good stuff, I know that we'll have a lot of aviation enthusiasts who watch this channel, and a delay simply means you get more time to take pictures of airplanes or to do plane spotting or to explore a new airport, or as you all did, check out a whole new city. Well, not new to you, but a whole different city, which is excellent.
Oh, fantastic. On that point, though, people screaming and shouting and this sort of stuff. We had a question about what's the worst passenger behaviour that you've seen. Because we've all seen on YouTube and on media and stuff the people that go berserk. Have you ever seen anybody really lose it?
Okay, I've never seen anybody lose it. Other than I was on a flight from Chicago to Greensboro. It was an evening flight, and there was this Australian guy. I think his name was Dennis, who just absolutely lost it with the flight attendant. It was really out of character. No, I'm kidding.
I heard he's a real prick. I don't even know if we can say that. We never had the chat in the beginning of this series about what words are permissible for us to say. What's the profanity meter?
I don't know. If you say something and you don't, or I say something, just put a beep over it if it's too much.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll try and keep it clean, kids. I've also never seen anybody,
Oh, but I have one.
Yes.
It was building up to it, and then you just stole my flow. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that either one of us can get a word in edgewise.
By episode 7, we'll be able to get this stuff working right. But this is one of the frustrations about having to do meetings over Zoom, isn't it? It's so much better when you can just have business meetings or catch up with friends face to face.
Right. That's exactly right. I mean, the technology certainly has the problems to understand how they would not. Exactly.
I think you're on unmute.
What's this? What's this do? All right. Back to the question. What's the worst I've seen? So I was flying from Salt Lake City to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and
you're just name dropping now.
I am. So, but for those of you who may not be familiar with Salt Lake City, for example, we don't know where this video is going to end up, whether it's on Dennis's channel, which I think your audience is largely Australian, or mine, which is largely the U.S.
This is episode 3, isn't it? So this will be on mine.
So, all right, then Salt Lake City is a very conservative place for a lot of reasons, mostly tied to the fact that it's sort of a home base for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is a very conservative Christian denomination, for want of a better description. Anyway, we said we weren't. Yeah. We said we weren't talking religion, and then I'm just like, I have a minor, like a second undergraduate degree in religion, by the way. I'm trying to tell you my story, and
And should I call you Father Jeb from now on?
Well, we will cut this out, but I am ordained.
You could be like a Jesuit priest.
I'm ordained.
Are you?
I have married 3 couples.
As in, you are married to 3 other couples?
No, I married them. I conducted the ceremony. I married them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I've never run I've run a funeral. Like I was the funeral celebrant for a good friend of mine. But I've never done a wedding.
Well, look, if you and Julie ever want to renew your vows, not your vowels, your vows.
Your vows.
I'm your man. Okay, so this is why it's probably going to be called Dennis and Jeb Talk Rubbish, because literally we've done 4 minutes trying to lead up to my story. And here's the worst part about one of these stories is I spent so much time building up and it's crap. All right, so I'm sitting on this plane. It was an E190, I think, Delta. I'm in maybe seat 3A, and then 1A walks into the plane. Remember, Salt Lake, very conservative. And the dude is maybe 25, and he has a glass, like a pint glass, with beer in it. So he's walking onto the plane with a pint, and he sits down in his seat, 1A, and he's drinking it. And then the flight attendant, who's obviously disturbed by what's going on, approaches him appropriately and says, "I'm sorry, sir, I need to take that. You can't have that." And he's like, "Okay." I mean, he was wasted. And she's like, "No, you can't." Well, then he immediately passed out. She takes the beer, pours it out. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Halfway through the flight, the guy wakes up, and he's not violent. He desperately wants to tip the flight attendant. He keeps trying to give her money to thank her for the service. Like the poor guy. He was having a rough day.
Oh.
What's your worst?
I honestly have not seen.
What's your most memorable experience with another passenger?
Have you seen
not your wife on Singapore?
I've had some fantastic conversations in the bar on an Emirates A380, the Qatar bar as well, on their A380. There haven't been situations where I've seen other passengers really misbehaving badly. I've led a very dull and sheltered life, it turns out, and long may that continue.
The goodness just flows to you, Dennis Bunnick.
Well, I think you and I've spoken about this before. The vibe that you give off to the crew is often what's returned. And cabin crew and some airlines get a rap that the cabin crew get a bad rap. Qantas used to be like that. That you can get bad Qantas crew. Well, 99% of the Qantas crew I've ever had have been fantastic. And it's just what not everybody wants to chat, not everybody wants to talk. But if you're friendly and happy and you can
and great
they're doing their job. Don't be a dick. That's basically the number one rule of flying.
No, and I never would have articulated it the same way you did, but I think you're spot on, man. It is like what you give is what you get, and that's true off an airplane and on it. I mean, yes. I think that so many people forget. I had the chance to be a gate agent in Atlanta for a day, and I really experienced this. I think travelers, and I bet it expands beyond just travelers, but we'll just talk about travelers. Forget that customer service people, that frontline airline employees are people.
Yes.
When I was doing that gate agent job, I can't tell you how many people just like stared right through me, like I wasn't even there. And I think maybe it's because it's I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? So maybe it's an unfamiliar environment. They're not sure what they're doing, whatever. But the truth is, if you're a first-time flyer or a frequent flyer, if you just give off that positive vibe, you express gratitude, you feel gratitude, your experience is going to be so much better.
Yes. Yeah. But as you say, that's not just in aviation, that's in everything. You know, I was having a beer with a friend in the industry yesterday, and at the moment, you know, he's in the travel industry, and his hours have been reduced dramatically. Right? He's running 4 different jobs, and one of them happens to be at a supermarket where he does a couple of shifts a week in checkout. Now, this guy's well and truly overqualified for this, but personal, loves to have a chat with people, so was helping a customer and having a chat. The next woman in the line goes, "Hurry up, I don't have time for this chit-chat," and was just rude about it. And he said, "Well, wait a minute. You know, I'm not sure whether you need to be so rude." And she says, "I've been at work all day." And he looked at her and says, "I'm still at work." You know, everybody's going through their own shit. So just be nice. Just be nice. Especially when you're making comments to this video. Just be nice. I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, nobody needs that thumbs down button. It's not there. It's only there to be double clicked. Just be nice.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Look, I think that's probably a really good philosophy, and I think that you know, we it's easy to see ourselves through a positive lens, but I think that's one thing we share is we do endeavor to be nice, and that's that philosophy, and sharing that philosophy is probably a good place to end this particular episode of whatever it's called by now.
How many minutes are we up to here?
It's been 17.
17 minutes. Okay, in that case, we'll have one final question for you. It's a simple yes or no one. Switzerland, yes or no? That was the question from Bradley Boy 624.
What do you think the 624 is his birthday?
Well, I'm not sure. Not to be confused with Bradley Boy 627. This is 624.
I bet that's the same guy. I bet Bradley Boy has several accounts.
Yeah, well, he may have 624 accounts, and this just happens to be the last one.
Think about the passwords he's got to know.
Oh, that's where he needs someone like Dashlane.
Dashlane, a great sponsor for both of us.
Yes, yeah, and great sponsor of the aviation YouTube community. And actually really nice people.
Yeah, but be sure to use my link.
Yes, yeah, or if you want to be really nice, use mine. So hey, Switzerland, yes or no, was the question.
All right, so let's do it this way. Let's answer at the same time. I'll count down. Ready? Starting at 5 with these big hands.
Very big hands.
Okay. Switzerland, yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
You're supposed to say it at the same time.
No, that was the delay. It was the interweb.
No, it's because you're so far away.
That's why we need personalised meetings. Switzerland, beautiful country. I've never got around to seeing the coast, but the inland bits, the mountains, fantastic, beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just testing your American geography.
I mean, I'm thinking about the lakes. Yeah, look, I love my time in Switzerland. I am desperate to see Geneva. I really want to go. I am a lover of. Somebody else asked about other hobbies, and one of mine is watches. I really am fascinated by these little tiny machines you can wear on your wrist, and of course that's the center of it all. So I really want to go see that. So yeah, Switzerland 100%, and Swiss International Airlines. Dennis Bunnick in his remastered series, a beautiful flight on an A340, definitely worth checking out. First class, best first class amenity kit.
Yeah, really nice first class amenities kit. That said, talking about watches, Lufthansa's first class of minis kits, actually, the male one is a box, is a watch box. It's designed in a watch box thingy. It's even got a little like a pillow inside it, but you can put your watch, so you can use it subsequently for that. That flight with Swiss Air on an old A340. Subsequently, those seats have been ripped out, and there's new seats been put in. So the PowerPoints now work. There is actually USB. But that whole retro, take a step back in time and have a look at that if you get a chance, people. So, you know, these pauses and these awkward silences and stuff are going to be really weird on screen, especially if people are watching this while they're doing something else or not watching the screen. So what we could do is just end this with a awkward pause.
That's so uncomfortable. I can't do that.
It is. We can just look lovingly into the camera and say, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and do check out my channel where there's a whole lot of other flight reviews and more on the way. As always, in the meantime, happy travels. It almost rolls off the tongue very quickly and easily, isn't it? When I'm in an airport holding a camera, sometimes it takes 17 attempts. Now here, when I'm not even flying, okay, I've had 3 glasses of arak. It just rolls off the tongue.
You sound good. You sound like a natural.
Thank you. Now that we've just recorded 3 episodes, you've hopefully watched all 3. Thank you to both of you. If the views do continue to rise, we will record more. So let us know in the comments below whether you'd like to watch any more of us talking rubbish.
We'd be grateful. I mean, because here's the thing. My claw's coming for you. Here's the thing. We're going to do this whether you're watching or not. So it's just a question of whether we press the record button on this on Zoom and share it with you. So if you want to tag along, we're happy to have you. This is really no different to our conversations we have, you know, without Zoom. IRL.
Wow. IRL?
In real life.
Honestly, you youngsters are so hip.
Dennis, I think I'm many things. I'm not a youngster.
Great to chat, mate. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching, guys, and look out for the next episode. Will be on Jeb's channel, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks, guys.
See ya. It is a great video.